everybody. This is Relaxing Readings. This is my first ASMR whisper, soft-spoken relaxation video. I have been watching ASMR videos now for a few months, and I don't experience ASMR myself, as in I don't get strong tingles with specific sounds or anything like that, but I do find them very relaxing, and I listen to them to help me sleep, especially like gentle whispering, and appreciate ASMR. Anyway, obviously if you're listening to me, you've probably heard of them. Anyway, for a while now, I've been wanting to try and start my own channel, because I think it might be just interesting to contribute to the community. Specifically, I love listening to voice recordings of books to fall asleep sometimes, and I thought that would be really amazing to have something similar, but in a more purposefully relaxing voice. So I would like to begin by focusing on that aspect and do some videos with that. And if there comes up any kind of requests for books or anything else, I don't really have fingernails to, obviously I have fingernails, but they aren't long, so not so great for tapping, but I could do some just bare finger tapping. Anyway, I love candles too. I think they're very relaxing, and so I thought these would make a nice backdrop for the beginning of this video, and then I'm going to go into reading a little bit from one of my favorite books. So there's these candles. They're very, very nice, very enchanting and warm and welcoming and just incredible. So, like I said, see by my nails, so I have no nail. I love the way they flicker and create the shadows on the wall too. So now I'm going to turn on my lamp, because it's not a good idea to read by candlelight. And so much light now, but oh, that's kind of pretty. It's very pretty. I love this. It's my votive candle holder. It's in the shape of like I don't know if you can see. It's a lotus flower. And then these are just two candles. Okay. You have a Game of Thrones cover. Read that. Oh, my nose has been stopped up, so I apologize for the nasaliness. That is actually a painting that a friend did for me. It's a beautiful owl. I like owls. I have owls on my bed too. Okay. I'm gonna move around. Sorry. Alright. My bedspread. Okay. So the first book I'm starting with is called Wildwood Dancing by Juliet Marillier, I think is her name. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I have the paperback copy. Then I also bought the hardback copy, and it came with a like one of those sleeve covers, and I took that off because I can never keep hold of those, but I like having hardback covers. So it says incredibly detailed and beautiful cover art. I love this book and its companion novel for just the amazing detail in the art. And if you ever get this book, I highly recommend it, just looking at the cover, because it has amazing details that are really important to the story. Even this is a character becomes really important, and this is the main character, obviously. And she has this little frog that comes up in the story, and then this is one of her sisters in the white, and her lover in the black. And then there's all these magic folk at a dance in the middle of the forest, and just the lights and the sky, and there's even just the background and all the boats and in the water, and it's just really, I wonder, maybe I can help. No, that's not gonna work, but it is really beautiful. Even if just go and find it in like a bookstore just to look at it. But I like to read out of the hardcover just because I am one of those people. If that is a category of people, I'm not sure. Anyway, this book is just very, it's sort of new twist on fairy tales. It's still set in like a very fairy tale age, not like a modern age, but it's a little different from traditional fairy tales. Anyway, it says this is the foreword. I'm not going to read that. It says, "Wildwood Dancing will take you to another time, and indeed another world. For proper pronunciation of names and for details about select Romanian terms, please turn to the back of the book." Sorry about that. So there is an index in the back of the book for all the names. There's some that are a little hard to pronounce, and actually I think I will go really quickly because I don't know if it has the pronunciation for, okay, Pisco Dracului, okay, that was the one I wasn't sure about. Okay, let's get started. I'm just going to read a couple of pages. It's already kind of a long video. Sorry. I've heard it said that girls can't keep secrets. That's wrong. We've proved it. We'd kept ours for years and years, ever since we came to live at Pisco Dracului and stumbled on the way into the other kingdom. Nobody knew about it, not father, not our housekeeper, Florica, or her husband, Petru, not Uncle Nicolai, or Aunt Bogdana, or their son, Jetzer. We found the portal when Tati was 7 and I was 6, and we'd been going out and coming in nearly every month since then. 9 whole years of full moons. We had plenty of ways to cover our absences, including a bolt on our bedchamber door and the excuse that my sister Paula sometimes walked in her sleep. I suppose the secret was not completely ours. Gogo knew. But even if frogs could talk, Gogo would never have told. Ever since I'd found him long ago, crouched all by himself in the forest, dazed and hurt, I had known I could trust him more than anyone else in the world. It was the day of full moon. In the bedchamber, our gowns and shoes were laid out ready. Combs, bags, and hair ornaments were set aside beside them. Nothing would be touched now until the household was safely in bed. Fortunately, it was rare for Florica to come up to our room, because it was at the top of a flight of stairs, and stairs made her knees hurt. I don't wonder how much Florica knew or guessed. She must have noticed how quiet we always were on the night of full moon, and how exhausted we were when we stumbled down to breakfast the next morning. But if she knew, Florica did not say a thing. During the day we kept up our normal activities, trying not to arouse suspicion. Paula helped Florica cook fish ciorba, while Julia went out to lend a hand to Petru, who was storing away stacks of grain to last us over the winter. Julia did not enjoy the hard work of the farm, but at least, she said, it made the time go more quickly. Tati was teaching Stella to read. I had seen the two of them ensconced in a warm corner of the kitchen, making letters on a tray of wet sand. I sat in the workroom with Father, reconciling a set of orders with a record of payments. I was good with figures and helped him regularly with such tasks. The merchant business in which he was a partner with his cousin, whom we called Uncle Nikolai, kept the two of them much occupied. Gogo sat on the desk, keeping himself to himself, though once or twice I caught a silent voice, the one only I could hear. "You're upset, Jenna." I murmured, not wanting to get into a real conversation with him, while both Father and his secretary, Gabriel, were in the room. My family didn't truly believe that I sometimes knew what Gogo was thinking. Even my sisters, who had long ago accepted that this was no ordinary frog, thought that I was deluding myself. Putting my own words into the frog's mouth, perhaps. I knew that was wrong. I had Gogo since I was a small girl, and the things he told me definitely didn't come from my own head. "Don't be sad. Tonight is full moon." "I can't help it, Gogo. I'm worried. Now hush, or Father will hear me." Father was trying to write a letter. He kept coughing, and in between bouts he struggled to catch his breath. Tomorrow he would be leaving on a journey to the port of Constanta, in the milder climate of the Black Sea coast. His doctor had told him sternly that if he tried to get through another winter at Piscal Draculae in his present ill health, he would be dead before the first buds opened on the oaks. We 5 sisters would be looking after the place on our own right through the winter. Of course, Uncle Nikolai would help with the business, and Florica and Petru with the house and farm. It was not so much the extra responsibility that troubled me. Father was away often enough on business, and we had coped before, though not for so long. What chilled me was the thought that when we said goodbye in the morning, it might be forever. At supper, we were all quiet. I was thinking what Father had confided to Tati and me earlier. Up till then, none of us had mentioned the possibility that Father might die of his illness. For to say that aloud would be to put the unthinkable into words. But Father had wanted his eldest daughters to be prepared for whatever might happen. Should he die before any of us girls married and bore a son, he'd explain, both Disco Dracului and father's share of the business would go to Uncle Nikolai as the closest male relative. We were not to worry. If the worst should occur, Uncle Nikolai would see we were provided for. And I'm going to stop there, just because this is kind of a long video already. I would really appreciate any feedback anyone has to offer. Obviously, I'd appreciate it if it were actual criticism or suggestions, and not just impoliteness. But people will be people. So I really love this book, and I think it would be enjoyable to read more of it for you. If there is another book that you would like me to read, or if you would like me to continue and read bigger chunks of this, less random talking and more just reading of the book, I could do that. Or more things with the, sorry, I keep moving my finger in front of the camera, or things with the candles, or whatever. I do apologize again, I'm a little stopped up, so it's not quite the effect I was going for, but I think it was still somewhat relaxing. That is my dog underneath the covers. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to go now. I hope it relaxed some people and was pleasant. So, have a good night.